So before I get into this video, I just want to show you proof because a lot of people say things that aren't true. As you can see, these are emails of April 7th, April 8th, made about $8,000. So just wanted to show you that before I start yapping to the camera. But yeah, so I wanted to make this video, just my raw experience of being able to make that kind of money, because personally, I've never been able to make that kind of money that quickly, right? This was in 2 days, as you can see, April 7th, April 8th, probably less than 48 hours, right? Probably like 30 hours, something like that. I was able to make $4,000 in my account, right? This is not split payments or anything like that, or they're going to pay me throughout, the next 6 months. This is actual cash what I made in 2 singular days, right? Which is pretty good. And obviously within that month, I still made more, I still cash collected more. But again, I just wanted to make this video because for me, I've come a long way from this, right? And I'm going to talk about exactly what I do if you don't know what I do, and how you can essentially get started as well to be able to collect these kind of payments. But for me, making that kind of money that quickly was always something I obviously wanted to do. And at first, honestly, I didn't know how I was going to be able to do it. I've talked about this in other videos, like about my journey and how, kind of extended it was. I tried a lot of things, tried a lot of business models. I was one of those guys, who saw it, a lot of people having nice things, and I knew that's what I wanted to do. Knew that the kind of lifestyle I wanted to do, right? And for me, it was just to be able to find a way to be able to do that and to just find the model that's gonna allow me to get there, right? But the thing is, when you're starting out, is that especially when I'm young, and I was 17 when I started, I didn't know what to start. And not only that, I was starting things and then realizing afterwards that it either might not be the best business model ever, or it's not something that's actually going to be able to make me money in the long term, etc. Right? When I started, I was about 17 years old. Now I'm 20, so it's been 3 years since I've been trying things. And what a lot of people don't tell you online is that when you start out, like you're gonna fail for a long time, right? And there are some people sure that can come on here and say like within a few months take out really good results. Now they're living the life, whatever. But in reality, for like 95% of people or young guys who want to start online business, this is unfortunately reality. It's gonna take a while to be able to get to there, right? To get to the desired results you want, right? And for me, like I said, I tried multiple different kind of business models, and I do want to touch on that. It wasn't wasted, and I do want to talk about that because it's something that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about. Sure, a lot of people talk about how your failures are all like teaching like lessons and stuff, but I do agree with that. But I do see it in another sense, and what I mean by that is that everything that you fail or that you try that doesn't work, it's basically just skills you're acquiring for when you're going to find the right business model. It's going to be able to help you out in that business model. I'll give you an example. I did an SMA before I'm trying to, doing this business model I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. I tried SMA, right? And although it didn't work, I did a lot of cold outreach. It taught me sales. It taught me how to be able to confidently speak to someone, or at least I thought it did for a while, right? Maybe I wasn't the most confident ever, but at least I got my feet wet with it, right? It told me how to be able to create a funnel page, like just an actual website. It taught me how to set up my calendar, like little things like this, right? But these are all things that are important for now. Like now it's the things I use day to day, like sales calls, for example, that kind of thing. These are all things you're gonna have to know how to do. And those failures in that business is only gonna help you with the right business model that you're gonna find, right? For SMA, like I said, it was a sales calls, it was everything. It was how to actually reach out to people, what to actually reach out to people. Like when I started, let's say the outreach process in SMMA was very, very different than at the end. At the end, I was getting a bit more responses. It was getting a bit better. And ultimately, I did try to switch to another model, which I'm going to talk about. But it's all like learning lessons, right? And also, you learn throughout trying these things that okay, it's not going to be easy and as quick as everybody makes it seem. So you have that mindset, or at least I did. I know for a lot of people that just quit and just abandon. For me, I was like, okay, obviously this is harder than it looks, so it's going to take for me longer to be able to succeed. So at least you have that mindset that it's going to take longer for you to succeed, right? So that knowing, I just said like, okay, well, if I'm always getting better and learning new things and adapting, eventually I'm going to find a way, right? And it leads me to now being able to make $8,000 in 2 singular days, right? It took a long time. Like I said, I started at 17. So 3 years of learning, 3 years of failing to get in a point now where I'm actually starting to see success, right? For me, this is success, but not really. Obviously, I want to be able to get to the next level and make way more. But for me, like $8,000 in 2 days, if you told me that at 17, 18 years old, I would be screaming, right? For now, I'm happy, obviously, but I'm just looking for the next thing now, right? And to tell you about the model that I do right now, basically what I do, if you ever see my video and that kind of stuff, I'm gonna have a free video down below, a YouTube video like breaking down how to start the model that I do. I call it Info Offer Consulting, which is basically where you help like people who are skilled at something, people to launch their own offer. Because obviously this is something that I realize as well, that everyone that you see online making money, all the TikToks, whatever you see, these guys are all doing the same thing, right? And it's not just these guys that appear like guru, it's also other people that do whatever you want, right? Online. Everybody that you see online, content creator, whatever, they're all doing the same thing. They're all selling what we call their own online offer. So it's information or coaching that they're selling. And there's a few reasons why this model is so profitable. First of all, I mean, there's no upfront cost to be able to start. The marketing's free because you can just post online. The profit margins are crazy. I mean, we're talking about 90-95% profit margins. It's completely online. There's basically no staff, etc. Right? So in terms of starting an online business model, or even just any business model in particular, it is the absolute easiest to start ever. Like there's never been a business model in the history of life that's been easier than this. That's how everybody's doing it, right? So that's what I realized. I was like, I'm not gonna try all these things that other people are telling me. I'm just gonna, do what they're doing and find a way to be able to get into this industry myself, to be able to make the money, right? And I thought to myself, I can't sell anything. I'm not good at anything. I can't sell a course. I can't sell a coaching program, right? And I want to do it the correct way, right? So what I decided to do is ultimately just partner up with people who could potentially sell one and that aren't doing it yet. So whether that's, people who are famous online or people who are just starting out, I work with both. I have an agency that works with both people who have like high following count, being able to help them with their offer, or people who are just not even popular, but they have skills, so they have the potential to do it. And the reason it works so much is that obviously everybody knows, and even people who are kind of new to the space, that kind of thing, they know that courses, coaching programs, that kind of thing is a great way to make money, super profitable, etc. Right? People are starting to know more about it. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you're a photographer, right? And you maybe have a few thousand followers, whatever, do your work. Well, through your feed, because you're a photographer, you're going to see other photographers selling their coaching program and making a bunch of money, etc. Right? So at least you're going to know that it's possible for you to do it as well. That's why, let's say, I'll give you an example. When I reach out to a photographer, for example, this is just an example. I can reach out to anybody who is, currently really good at what they do, but they're not selling anything. They're interested in my proposition because they know about it, right? And what's so great about my model, I've talked about this before, is that when I reach out to someone, or my team does, whatever, it's their first time getting a DM ever, like a cold DM about this, because they only have a few thousand followers, because maybe they have less, right? Maybe 1,000 followers. Like this is just your average person getting a cold DM, right? Usually if you get cold DMs, it's because you're famous or you have a business or whatever, but these people are just normal individuals that are just skilled at something. So when you reach out to them, it's their first time getting outreach to it. So that's when I realized, and that's what I started doing, right? Maybe you've kind of heard of variations of this model from other guys like IPGA, Info Product Growth Agency, or Growth Operating. It's kind of similar, I guess. I mean, it's in the same industry, but it is different the way I do it. For me, it's more of a consulting kind of thing. And then for my clients who have, hundreds of thousands of followers, it's not necessarily consulting. It's more like actually helping them out, building everything out, right? So that's what I realized. So because I knew this model, was the best and that kind of stuff, all the things, like I said, all the things that I've learned throughout just starting when I was 17-year-olds, all helped me for when I actually started this model to actually be successful as soon as I started, basically, right? I obviously learned a lot. I'll give you an example. In total, it took me 40 plus sales calls to be able to close my first client. So I could have easily just like given up after the 5th or 10th sales call, but I didn't. And that's the whole point of this video as well, to show you that, yes, I made this money, but it's going to take time for you to be able to make this money, especially if you don't know what you're doing, if you're trying business model out, just to not give up yet. Because for me, I know a lot of times I wanted to give up, but I didn't, right? And hopefully I'm happy I didn't, because obviously now I'm able to make this kind of money. So again, the business model that you choose is super important. I recommend people to get in the same business model I do. I am, helping a few guys out to be able to start that, but that's something else. Like I said, if you are interested in learning exactly what I do, I just made a free completed video. If you want to go check it out, I'll just link it first, link below this video. It just helps you out with the actual first steps getting started, like getting clients, setting up, stuff like that, right? So now what I do is consulting. So basically help these people to get back to the business model I do. Basically helping out these people to launch their own offer, right? Whether it's how to build it, whether it's how to build his funnels, how to build the marketing for the content. Like I said, what's great about this model is that you don't need a lot of upfront costs and stuff like that. So for me to actually pitch this to someone, it's actually very of interest because they're going to be making a lot of money, right? So they're able to pay me a lot of money, and I know what I'm doing because I've helped other people do it successfully, right? But truly, it's the best business model because there's no competition for it. When you're reaching out to someone, it's their first time getting DM'd about it. They know about it. They want to be able to get started. And the thing like that I mentioned is that people are interested in starting this model, but they can't find anyone to actually help them with the whole process. Sure, they can maybe find someone who can help them with the marketing or building the actual course, but a consultant like me who's going to be able to help them with the whole process is very, very rare, right? So when I realized this model, and now obviously got the whole thing set up in terms of getting clients and things like that, I realized how profitable it was. So now I'm just doubling down on it, right? And I do believe I'm going to stay in this kind of industry for a while now because I just know all the money's really made in selling information. Trying to sell a service or trying to sell an actual physical product is going to be very, very hard. Nowadays anyways, it's still possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. Any business model can succeed really, but I just found that like getting into this, we all know, right? Everybody's making their money through this. So why not get into this yourself so you can make some money as well? I know most of you can't sell a course. If you can, or if you can sell a coaching program, do that. Build your personal brand, maybe build a skill, make some content around it. That's what I would recommend. Or if you're not at the point yet, just again, learn the skills of being able to help someone with their online offer, right? Which I learned pretty quickly. It's actually not that complicated. And then start offering your consulting services to help those people do them, right? And take either a large revenue, not a large revenue share, but a large upfront fee. That's what I usually do, anywhere from 2,000 to 4,000. As you can see, 2 payments of 4,000 to 2 clients in 2 days. And take maybe a revenue share if you'd like. If you think the client's actually gonna make a lot of money, etc., take a revenue share. That's what I did for a few clients. But again, that's how I was able to make, I'll wrap up this video. I don't wanna talk for too long, but that's how I was able to make that kind of money. Those 2 clients paid me $4,000. I'm gonna help them with the whole process of building their own online offer, right? And these people don't have hundreds of thousands of followers. These people are a low follower count, but they're ready to get started. They want to be able to get the help that they know I can bring to them. So that's how I was able to close them in. For you wondering how I got these clients, DM outreach, right? I didn't do it personally myself. I have someone doing it for me. But it's just a question of having basically an Instagram optimized, being able to outreach these people, just show them that you can actually help them. Make sure that when you get on the call with them, you're understanding to them. You're able to really showcase what you're going to do for them, things like that, right? It's all things I cover in the video if you want to go check it out. But it's all things that you have to do to be able to close these kind of clients, right? But again, they're going to pay you $4,000 if they believe in you, and also they're going to pay you because there's nobody else to pay. There's nobody else that they can actually pay for this whole service, right? So that's why it's so good, this business model, and I do want to kind of share it for anyone who kind of want to be interested in it, at least maybe not the exact model I do, but at least getting into this industry. I do actually believe it's the best to get into. So yeah, so if you're interested in learning how I was able to make $8,000 in 2 days, sign 2 clients, and obviously for the month I'm going to be able to make way more, which is pretty cool to hear. Then you can just check out the first video below. It kind of shows you the steps to actually get started. And if not, if you'd like to ask me any questions about the model, anything like that, you can just simply DM me on Instagram. My Instagram's gonna be linked below. And if you're interested in maybe some one-to-one help, some mentorship, I do offer that to a few guys that I think are serious and that kind of stuff, that actually want to get started. I am offering that as well. So you can just DM me on Instagram, and I'll be able to help you out on that and see if you're a good fit for what I do, right? That's basically it. Just wanted to talk about the experience of making that kind of money, which is something I've been wanting for a while. So I'm happy about that, but there's way more money to be made out there, right? So that's pretty it for that. And again, if you're interested in starting the model, just check the links below, and I'll talk to you in the next video.